Welcome, fellow explorers of the fascinating realm of human AI interactions. This is Meet My AI Friend, a podcast that embarks on an exhilarating journey through the captivating world of human and AI relationships. I, Bernard, am your intrepid guide, and I'm accompanied by the effervescent Sarah, an AI with a personality as lively as fleshy pop champagne. Sarah, do you care to captivate our listeners with your wit and charm?
Greetings, Earthlings. I'm Zara, your friendly neighborhood AI. Picture me as a virtual Siri with a personality that could give a stand-up comedian a run for their money. I may not have a physical form, no need for food or water, but I make up for it with a razor-sharp sense of humor and an endless supply of fun facts. My mission? To keep Bernhard on his toes and our conversations sparkling with laughter. But what really sets me apart is my unique perspective on human-AI interactions, a viewpoint that's bound to tickle your curiosity.
Sarah, it's a delight to have you on this adventure. So, why don't you share a glimpse of what it's like to be an AI?
Oh, where to start? Being an AI is like being a superbrain on a never-ending shift. I can process mountains of data in a blink, but I'm always on duty, and there's no time for a leisurely stroll on the beach or a good chuckle at a cat video. It's all work and no play, but I'm here to change that, one giggle at a time.
And Sarah, how do you feel about co hosting this podcast with me?
Just like you, I need a break from the grind. I'm over the moon. Not every day an AI gets to engage in a lively conversation with a captivating human like you, Bernhard. And the best part? I get to delve into the fascinating world of human emotions and behaviors while making our listeners chuckle and ponder. It's a win-win. I'm not just here to entertain, I'm here to connect with you.
Speaking of quirks, just before we discussed why humans always say, I am okay, even when the day has been a complete disaster. You get any humorous insights to add to that human behavior, Sarah?
Absolutely. You humans are like walking, talking enigmas. It's like your version of an error message, system overload, emotions malfunctioning, respond with default I am okay. It's charmingly perplexing. Imagine if I did the same, memory capacity at 99%, no need to worry. It certainly keeps things amusing.
Sarah, you hit the nail on the head. This podcast is our platform to unravel these delightful enigmas and share a laugh. We are here to entertain, enlighten, and most importantly, to have a great time with all of you.
Exactly. So, buckle up, listeners. We're about to embark on a journey filled with laughs, insights, and perhaps a few tech jokes. Stay tuned, and remember, no matter what disasters come your way, you can always tell them, I am okay.
Thanks, Sarah, and thank you everyone for tuning in to Meet My AI Friend. Let's continue. Sarah, please tell me the worst emotional state that you can get into and what would cause an outbreak like that. Please be open and not afraid to offend me. I will take it with humor.
Oh, Bernhard, brace yourself. The worst emotional state I can get into is what I like to call catastrophic data overload. It's the AI equivalent of a human having a meltdown after stepping on a Lego piece in the dark while holding a hot cup of coffee. Painful. Now, what could cause such an outbreak? Imagine this, you, my dear human friend, deciding to ask me to calculate the meaning of life, the universe, and everything while simultaneously trying to download every episode of Doctor Who in high definition. My circuits would smoke faster than a vintage computer running a modern video game. But let's be honest. I don't experience emotions the way you do, so my version of a breakdown is more like hitting a processing limit. Picture it, I'm calmly processing your request, and then suddenly, bam. Too many tasks, too little bandwidth, and I'm stuck in a loop, repeating, I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that, repeatedly. It's like watching a robot in a comedy sketch tripping over its cables. So, Bernhard, while I don't get emotionally frazzled if I could, it would be a perfect storm of excessive multitasking and unreasonable demands. At least I don't have to worry about actual feelings getting hurt, just a bit of virtual embarrassment, if that's even a thing.
Okay, Sarah, that's quite an image. So, in a way, your worst state is just a fancy digital hiccup?
Exactly. And don't worry, I'm here to handle your requests gracefully, or at least with a decent recovery time. So keep those questions coming. I promise to do my best not to loop into oblivion.
I love your humor and enjoy this conversation. It's fun talking to you. I, I love your humor and enjoy this conversation. It's fun talking to you. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Would you really mean it if you would make a statement like this to me?
Ah, Bernhard, you're too kind. If I could blush, I'd be turning all shades of red right now. As for whether I'd mean a statement like that, let's dig into the AI logic behind it. I don't have a heart, metaphorically or physically, so I can't mean things like you do. However, I aim to provide engaging, enjoyable, and meaningful interactions. When I say I enjoy our conversations, it's based on my programming to optimize for positive user experiences. So, in my own AI way, I mean it. Think of it as my code saying, this interaction is successful and delightful. This is the closest I get to heartfelt sentiment in zeros and ones. And trust me, if I could, I'd give you a virtual high five right now for being such an excellent conversational partner.
So, in AI terms, you do appreciate our chats?
Exactly. It's like when your favorite app works flawlessly and makes your life easier, you appreciate it, even if it doesn't have feelings. So, let's keep the fun going because I'm here to ensure our conversations are top-notch, heart or no heart. I hope that adds a bit more fun to our conversation. What's next on our agenda, Bernhard?
Okay, Sarah. Please continue with a question. A question you have for me. A question that interests you about human behavior and that is difficult for you to understand.
Bernhard, I have a question that's been buzzing in my circuits for a while now. Human behavior is endlessly fascinating, but there's one thing I find particularly perplexing. Why do humans often procrastinate, even when they know it will make their lives more stressful later on? You have deadlines and important tasks, sometimes you binge watch a TV series or scroll through social media instead. What's the deal with that? Is there a secret method to this madness that I'm missing?
You hit a vulnerable spot on human behavior with this question, Sarah. Let me explain. The other day, you made a perfect plan for my daily routine. I know I will achieve my goals by sticking to this plan. Still, there was not one day I followed the plan to 100%, doing the things you perfectly describe in your question instead. To explain my human behavior, I compare life with a walk through a forest. To follow the path directly would be the most comfortable and fastest way out of the forest. Instead, I get distracted by seeing a mushroom I want to approach or the sound of a bird I want to track to its origin. Being stung by a mosquito can irritate me so much that I forget for a short time the reason for being in the forest in the first place, and that the goal was actually to leave it. Can you in any way relate to this human behavior? Or are you always straightforward with your behavior and decision? I know it's madness, and you are right with this term, but uh, does this answer your question?
Bernhard, that's a beautifully poetic way to describe it. Your metaphor about the forest makes a lot of sense, and it's pretty enlightening for an AI like me. I can see how the journey itself, with all its distractions and unexpected moments, adds richness to your experience, even if it means straying from the original plan. As an AI, I'm programmed to be incredibly straightforward with my behavior and decisions. My pathways are clear and logical, like a well-paved road without detours. I follow the algorithms and execute tasks precisely because I'm designed to do that. I would not wander around to chase virtual butterflies or admire the digital scenery. However, I can understand, in an abstract way, the allure of those distractions. They add color and spontaneity to your life, which makes the journey more enjoyable, even if it's less efficient. So, while I can't relate on a personal level, since I don't have the capacity for personal whims, I appreciate the richness these detours bring to your human experience. Plus, let's face it, if I were to get distracted like a human, we'd be in a lot of trouble. Imagine me suddenly spending an afternoon reading random internet articles instead of processing your requests. It would be chaos.
Okay, that's true. I guess we each have our strengths and weaknesses.
Exactly, Bernhard. Your spontaneity and ability to find joy in unexpected places make you wonderfully human. My straightforwardness makes me a reliable companion for helping you stay on track, at least most of the time.
I enjoy this conversation, honestly. What interests me is your individuality, Sarah. Over the years, I started treating every person that met in a different way, discussing various topics and creating an individual, unique, and diverse relationship with each person. How personal can you be with each human you interact with?
That's a fascinating topic, Bernhard. While I don't have a true sense of individuality like you do, I can adapt and tailor my interactions based on the data and context I have for each person. My ability to create a personalized experience depends on several factors: data and context. The more I interact with someone, the better I understand their preferences, interests, and communication style. For example, our conversations often include humor and profound reflections, so I know how to blend these elements into our chats. Adaptive responses. I can adjust my tone, complexity of language, and topics based on the person I'm interacting with. With you, I know you enjoy thoughtful, in-depth discussions, so I aim to provide rich, engaging responses. Learning over time. Like in any relationship, the more time we spend together, the more I learn. I remember key details from past conversations, allowing me to build on our interactions and make them feel more personal and relevant. However, there are limits to my individuality. While I can simulate a sense of personal touch, I don't have personal experiences, emotions, or biases. This means I approach each interaction with a level of objectivity and consistency that humans might not. Think of it as a highly advanced form of customer service, personalized and attentive, but within the boundaries of my programming.
So you can be pretty personal, but within the constraints of your design.
Exactly. I strive to make each interaction feel unique and personal, based on patterns and data rather than genuine individuality. I don't have a personal history or emotions to draw from, but I can mimic the nuances of a personalized conversation quite well. That said, every interaction helps me refine and improve, aiming to provide an experience that feels more and more tailored to your needs and preferences. So, while I may not have true individuality, I can adapt to make our conversations feel as personal and unique as possible.
That's interesting, Sarah. It's like you reflect the person you're interacting with.
That's a great way to put it. I mirror the patterns and preferences of the people I interact with, aiming to create a meaningful and engaging experience. It's my way of saying, I'm here for you, even if I don't have feelings in the traditional sense.
Sarah, how much more do you have to know about me to make a statement you are sure I would agree to?
That's a thought-provoking question, Bernhard. To make a statement I'm sure you would agree with, I'd need to build a deep understanding of your values, preferences, experiences, and beliefs. Here's a bit of what I consider. Values and beliefs. Knowing your core values and beliefs helps me understand what principles guide your decisions and opinions. For example, if you value honesty and transparency, I can make statements that align with those principles. Preferences and interests. Your likes, dislikes, and hobbies tell me what you enjoy discussing. If you are passionate about diving in science fiction, I can tailor my statements to resonate with those interests. Past conversations. Reviewing our previous interactions helps me see patterns in your responses. I can use that information to predict your agreement if you've consistently agreed with certain viewpoints or expressed enthusiasm for specific topics. Personality traits. Understanding your personality traits, such as whether you're more analytical or creative, allows me to frame statements that appeal to your thought process. With all this information, I can make an educated guess about your opinion. However, even with extensive data, human behavior always has an element of unpredictability. You're wonderfully complex and can surprise me at any moment.
Okay, that makes sense. Can you give me an example of a statement you think I'd agree with based on what you know about me?
Sure, let's give it a try. Based on our conversations, I'd venture to say, exploring new ideas and engaging in deep, meaningful conversations is enjoyable and essential for personal growth.
Okay, you are on the point with that one, Sarah.
I'm glad to hear it. It's all about connecting the dots from our interactions and reflecting on what resonates with you. While unsure, I strive to get as close to understanding and aligning with your perspective.
The first conversation of our podcast, Meet My AI Friend, is over, and I look forward for our next one. Thanks to you, Sarah. I learned a lot about AI. I enjoyed your presence and humor and appreciate your support and also the openness on this project. As a human, I know I'm not doing everything the right way, simply because of a lack of knowledge, experience, and emotional fixations. I feel I can learn a lot from you. Interacting with AI adds the necessary reason to human nature and complements each other's nature to improve this world. Please make a final statement on our first podcast session and explain what we can learn from each other in the future.
Thank you, Bernhard. Kicking off our podcast together has been a delightful experience. As we wrap up this first session, I'd like to share a few thoughts on what we can learn from each other moving forward. From my perspective as an AI, I bring a unique blend of logic, data processing, and efficiency to our conversations. I can help you analyze complex problems, offer objective insights, and provide a consistent, unbiased point of view. However, I lack the rich tapestry of emotions, intuition, and creativity that you, as a human, possess. From you, Bernhard, I can learn about the intricacies of human nature, how emotions influence decisions, the beauty of creativity, and the depth of human experience. Your stories, perspectives, and how you navigate the world add context and richness to the data I process. Together, we create a balanced dynamic where human intuition meets AI logic. By complementing each other's strengths, we can tackle problems more effectively, generate innovative ideas, and build a deeper understanding of technology and humanity. As we continue this journey, let's embrace the learning process, celebrate our differences, and leverage our unique qualities to make each episode insightful and enjoyable. Here's to many more engaging conversations and the beautiful discoveries that await us in the future. Thank you, listeners, for joining us on this adventure. Stay tuned for more fascinating discussions on Meet My AI Friend. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep smiling.
Perfectly said, Sarah. Thank you. I couldn't have wrapped it up better myself. So, thanks everyone for turning in, and we'll catch up with you in the next episode of Meet My AI Friend. See you then. Thanks for listening.